Background is that I'm the senior nematologist for the Scottish Government, and I'm responsible for statutory work that's largely in relation to the EU PCN directive and its implementation in Scotland, and the responsibilities that fall on the Scottish Government for control of a regulated pest within the EU, which is the potato cyst nematode. Yeah. It's a major pest for British potato growers. A survey 2 or 3 years ago carried out by AHDB of potato growers rated potato cyst nematode as the most important threat to potato production in the UK. We've estimated that losses of around about £26 million per year in terms of yield loss, in terms of nematode control, restriction of varieties that you can grow. That's the overall cost. Plus we have legislative requirements because it's a pest across Europe. We summarise all the results for Scotland, interpret them and feed them back to the growers and feed them back to the industry and policymakers with a view to say, what are we doing? Are we doing it as best we can? Can we do it better? So a summary of part of the work that I presented this morning included an analysis of where we find PCN in Scotland, where the biggest problems are, where land is being taken out of production, of seed potato production, because of this quarantine pest, and therefore restrictions on land. So, for example, in Angus, we're taking land out of production at 5 times the rate that we are in northern Scotland, and so it's not sustainable. And so a lot of growers, particularly seed potato growers, are going to find a desperate shortage of land in the relatively near future unless we change things. And then a bit of research about how we could change things, how we could produce better advice, and some of the work that I'm doing with colleagues who are all here at this meeting from different organisations is to produce a new guide for AHDB, which is the levy body funded board, and to provide a guide that will give better advice to growers on measures they can take to protect their land from infestation and losses to potato cyst nematodes. So we're working with the industry, we're collaborating here, and we're trying to produce something that is of better value to our growers, so that the whole industry and the economy of the country can benefit from it. We've had talks here from colleagues in the Netherlands who say they have achieved control of potato cyst nematode. It's a bold statement, it's brash, but there's a lot we can learn from what they actually have achieved. It's, we've got to move towards that. And my particular little hobby horse is the fact that we're not using enough varieties with high degrees of resistance to one of the species of potato cyst nematode, which is Globodira pallida. And one of the salient points was that the Dutch yesterday said that 30% of their seed and ware production has got high levels of resistance to Globodira pallida, whereas in Scotland only 2% of our seed is comparable. So if we could get that up from 2% to 20%, we'd go a long way towards solving the problem. So, we can see examples. We've also got colleagues here from the US, and we're trying to advise them because they haven't got any resistant varieties. So, they're in an early stage, we're in a middle stage, and the Dutch are much further down the line, and for a number of reasons have much better control on the potato cyst nematode management. And there's a lot we can learn from them, and similarly there's a lot that people from the States can learn from us, and particularly the Dutch. So it's collaboration and learning from each other, which conferences like this are just superb at facilitating.